Ethan Carter never believed in miracles. He had lived through too many storms to trust the calm. A single father struggling to give his little boy a decent life, he worked morning to night, fixing cars in a greasy workshop by day and cleaning corporate hallways by night. Every time he thought life might turn around, another bill would land on his doorstep like a cruel reminder that dreams were expensive. But one evening, when he was at his lowest, clutching a final eviction notice in his son's hand, fate came dressed in elegance, wheels, and silent pain, and it changed everything. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and unexpected love, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel right now. It helps us bring more inspiring stories to you. The proposal came from a world he never belonged to. Isabella Moretti, a name that echoed through wealth, business headlines, and hushed admiration, had been confined to a wheelchair after a tragic accident that shattered her spine and the life she once knew. The confident, radiant daughter of a powerful business empire was now a prisoner of her body and the mansion walls her father had built for protection, or perhaps for isolation. Her family, desperate to secure their reputation and keep the company under control, demanded she marry. But Isabella refused to be a trophy bride for someone who pitted her. She wanted freedom, and a partner who did not see her as broken. Her lawyer approached Ethan with a contract. A marriage only on paper, 1 year. A roof over his son Noah's head. A large sum of money that could rebuild their lives. And in return, companionship for a woman the world had forgotten to see as human. Ethan hesitated, terrified of stepping into a world where he would always feel small. But then he looked at Noah, his 5-year-old boy who deserved safety, warmth, and a chance at a real future. Ethan signed, unaware that the pen strokes were sealing more than a contract, they were sealing his heart's fate. The mansion felt unreal the day Ethan and Noah moved in. Marble floors, chandeliers like falling stars, gardens blooming with orchids. Isabella watched them quietly, her dark hair flowing in waves, her beauty striking yet shadowed with loneliness. She kept her distance, her heart barricaded. Ethan tried to be kind, but her pride was stronger than her pulse of hope. She had been stared at enough in her life, she wouldn't let a stranger pity her again. She avoided conversation, avoided looking vulnerable, avoided the ache that wanted to trust him. Ethan settled into his role, attending charity galas as her silent escort, dining at the long table where their eyes rarely met, pushing her wheelchair only when she allowed it. But Noah didn't know how to keep distance. He tugged her hand, drew her messy crayon pictures, laughed near her like she was completely normal, because in his eyes, she was. It was Noah who cracked the first fracture in Isabella's icy walls. One rainy afternoon, she found him crying quietly. He missed his old neighborhood friends. His tiny shoulders shook, and without thinking, Isabella wheeled closer, letting him hug her, his small arms wrapped around a heart she thought was numb. Ethan saw it from the doorway and something in him shifted. The heiress who seemed untouchable was just a woman craving warmth. Days turned into weeks, and a fragile bond bloomed. Isabella started asking Ethan about his life, his dreams. He discovered she wasn't cold, she was angry at a world that stopped believing she could stand, even without walking. He noticed the pain when she dropped a glass and couldn't pick it up. He learned she painted before the accident but could no longer steady her right hand enough to hold a brush. Ethan decided to help her find new ways to reclaim fragments of her freedom. He installed voice-activated tools for her studio. He set up adaptive easels and helped her rediscover color, not with her hands, but with guidance, patience, and gentle belief. For the first time since the accident, Isabella smiled without forcing it. The nights were hardest for her. The memories of spinning in ballroom dresses, dancing without limits, returned like ghosts with sharpened knives. One night, hearing soft sobs echo from her room, Ethan quietly knocked. She didn't speak, but her silence was a plea he couldn't ignore. He sat beside her, not touching, only being present. She confessed that she no longer knew who she was, the world expected her to be strong, but she felt shattered inside. Ethan listened, and his heart stretched for her. He told her that strength wasn't measured by steps but by rising every time life hit harder. She looked at him then, tears glimmering, seeing him not as a contract husband, but as someone who truly cared. Something delicate sparked between them, unspoken, undeniable. The turning point came at a high-profile business gala one evening. People whispered about their arrangement, judging Isabella with cruel curiosity. When she felt the stares burn into her skin, she tried to breathe through the panic. But Ethan refused to let her drown in the weight of their eyes. He stood behind her chair, placed his hand gently on her shoulder, and spoke proudly to the room about her brilliance, resilience, and leadership. Noah clapped loudly, bursting with pride. Isabella's heart swelled, recognizing that Ethan wasn't protecting her because he had to, but because he wanted to. That night, after putting Noah to bed, Ethan wheeled Isabella to the garden under the silver moonlight. He confessed that she helped him believe in himself again, reminded him that he was worth more than the struggles he carried. Isabella felt a warmth spreading through her, unfamiliar yet desperately wanted. She reached for his hand, clumsy, hesitant, but Ethan wrapped his fingers around hers and didn't let go. Their marriage, once an empty contract, became something real in that quiet moment. But love doesn't come without fear. Isabella worried that Ethan stayed because of the agreement, that once the year ended, he would choose freedom instead of her brokenness. She tried to distance herself again, terrified of losing what she hadn't even admitted she wanted. Ethan refused to step back. One night, he sat beside her and told her that what they shared was no longer just necessity, it was his heart finding its missing place. If this story has touched even a corner of your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything. As seasons changed, Isabella began physical therapy again, not to prove anything to the world, but because she believed she could still grow. Ethan stood by her through every painful stretch, every frustrated tear. And Noah cheered after every tiny improvement like she had climbed mountains. Hope was no longer distant, it lived inside their laughter, their shared meals, their late-night confessions. Special request, please comment below, love always finds a way. When the final day of their contract arrived, Isabella feared he would leave. But Ethan knelt beside her wheelchair, Noah hugging his side, and he whispered that he didn't need a contract to stay, he needed her. He loved her, strength, scars, wheels, and soul. Tears fell freely as Isabella realized that love had chosen her even when she had stopped choosing herself. They signed a new document that day, not a contract, but a declaration of a real marriage, built from kindness, respect, and the most unexpected miracle of all. Ethan found a partner he never thought he deserved. Isabella found love she feared she would never have. And Noah found a complete family, one that promised forever. True love doesn't always walk into your life. Sometimes, it rolls in.